Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. Okay, let's go. Let's go 10 minutes. 10 minutes, such a nice time scale, isn't it? It's really nice. It's short enough to be interesting, but long enough to be interesting. Long enough for there to be time to think. Okay, so our opponent's 2160. Okay, so a little bit higher graded. So our opponent's run away. I mean, our opponent has decided not to play. Our opponent is our grading. Okay, let's play the Sicilian defense in the hope of provoking Serbia. And our opponent said they don't want to be provoked. What do we know best in this line? You know what I know in the C3 is I know the main line. So here we expect e5, although other moves are possible. Knight d5. Here we expect d4, although knight f3 is also possible. Yeah, bishop c4 is definitely a move. Although I think in this order it's a bit odd. What they sometimes do is they sack on f7, and it's actually quite tricky. So to avoid that, and for reasons of cowardice, I'm going to play e6. I don't really want them to sack on f7 today. I think actually if you play knight b6 and they sack on f7, it's not that bad. Although I think black is better. It's quite complicated to get there. Okay, so I'm just going to develop castle. I think white has to play d4 at some point. Let's just take a view of the position. Okay, we're going to play knight c6 before we take. We don't need to take right away. At some point we're going to play d6 and try to get rid of that advanced pawn. So what's going to... And I think at some point we may now play knight b6. And so I suppose white can take, yeah, like that. Take, and then take on c5. Sure, that's a good move. There's no denying it. We're a pawn down. So what we got to do now is pretend we meant that. And that's going to take some doing, because we didn't. Okay. Now, we've got some things going for us. How about playing d6 here? I know we're going to have to be hard to take this, but I think we just got to play d6. And we've even got to offer the swap of queens. It's just... Because if we don't offer the swap of queens, our opponent will play rook d1. You just got to play... Okay, I'm reasonably happy with that, because we're gonna hit the queen, but I guess what we're looking at is pawn takes, right? Oh boy, it's going to be a long game. I still think we could be okay here. I know it looks really bad. Pawn takes looks really bad. But I'm not overly worried about it. Maybe I'm just... What's the word? In denial. Maybe. At times like this, being in denial is probably quite a good idea. I think it might be a good time to start playing quickly. Okay, queen takes, pawn takes, knight f5, rook d1, rook d8. We probably... Bishop f4. Bishop c7. We'll probably regain it. So queen takes d6. Queen takes... Yeah, that's a good move. It's a good move, but it might not be a great move, because we probably play this. How much? We're just a pawn down. Okay, I think here we can claim that we've got some kind of compensation in the form of like a backward pawn on the c file. Although if they play c4 now, what do we do? Just take it, right? Maybe we just take it if they play c4. And bishop e6 is a Carmen. Bishop e6 is coming with a vengeance. We're just trying to hang on here, really, honestly. Okay, I don't mind this. Dreams of... What am I dreams of? Knight g6. If I win this... Okay, I think that might have been anticipating my knight g6. Okay, let's put the rook on an open file. We're going to pin the knight. We're going to pin that knight. Maybe we are. Or maybe we're going to play knight g6. Maybe that's a bit more harmonious. We're just going to try and hang on. We're not going to play knight g6 now, are we? We're going to... I don't think it's the end of the world if white takes anywhere. Now we're craftily attacking that knight. Do you think white will notice the knight on g5 is attacked? Isn't that naughty? We're also attacking the pawn on e5. I mean, the knight can take on e6, but then the pawn on e5 is really going to go. Okay. Now that pawn is dropping. Now I think we're better. Don't you? There are even some quite interesting ideas of queen h4. Yeah, but this doesn't work. In fact, I would say this is actually bad. What we're threatening here is knight f3 check wins the queen. If you take with the bishop, we're threatening bishop h2 check wins the queen. It's kind of an extraordinary turnaround, to be honest. We all like an extraordinary turnaround. We all like a Christmas miracle. That queen's got to move, I would say. And then, as stated before, bishop h4 starts to look quite interesting. So let's play the interesting move. So the problem with g3 is bishop f3 check. Looks pretty unpleasant. And the problem with other moves is knight f3 followed by queen h2 checkmate. So, for instance, pawn f3, knight takes pawn, queen takes, bishop h2, king h1, bishop g3, king g1. Okay, is that a good move? It's not terrible. I mean, okay. Okay, what do you think? Okay, let's threaten checkmate. I'm not sure this was the best. It might have been that knight g6 was a better move, but we're doing this. This is not terrible. I mean, we are certainly better here. Rook takes looks really scary, although it is a move. Rook takes, I think bishop takes on f4. Oh no, rook takes, you just pin the queen against the king. You can't take with the rook. So, knight d2. Maybe double the rooks then, eh? Okay. Well, let's not overthink, as we say in the chess world. So now we're a pawn up. Knight d2, I want to double rooks, I think. Okay. Right. Is there something flashy here? Rook takes h3. Rook takes h3. Pawn takes rook. Otherwise you're mating on h1. Pawn takes rook. Bishop g3 check. King h1. Bishop b8. Rook takes f7. Queen g3. Bishop d6. Okay, let's do it. Bishop d6. Rook takes f7. Queen g3. Okay. So my big idea here is Queen g3. Rook f7 is not great, but it's hardly a crisis. Rook takes d5, we play Queen g3. I do think black's better here, and black's better on the clock as well. The thing is, the white knight isn't having a great day. Okay, well, why don't we double? That's a decent move from black, but what we're threatening now is rook e1 that ends the game immediately. So I think white's got to take. And I think we're just sort of slowly improving. But if white takes, I'm claiming all the counterplay is gone for white. No. Oh, attacking my queen. Okay. So let's have a look. Wow. How about I take it, white takes back, and then I pin the queen against the king. I take it, then I pin the queen against the king. Then you can't have queen takes. Then maybe you can. So here's the queen takes d4, pawn takes, rook e1, queen takes, rook f1, rook takes, king takes, and then we take at the end on b4, and we're winning. Takes, pin. Okay, we'll do it. It's enough. To be honest, we're a pawn up, and we'll probably go another pawn up. So queen takes. I mean, there's probably other things white can do, like that. Don't we just take on b4? Attack the knight? So that knight's now hanging. So knight's got to move. Oh, we can take another pawn as well. I think what we're heading for here is just a one end game. So I'm taking that, although I think that's a bit impatient. I actually think that might not have been the best move. We get the rooks off. What's the margin? 2 pawns. So what we're going to try to do here is claim that, because also I think we have a slight positional advantage aside from the material advantage. What we're going to try to do is get the king in the centre, and then that knight can't move because of that outside pawn. So we get our kingside pawns moving, yeah? Get our kingside pawns moving. Oh, the knight's done it. Well, I suppose it was okay. So then we're going to do this. And we're sort of going to try and trap the knight. I mean, not completely trap, but just sort of slow down. And we've got this outside pawn for So white will go knight d8. We just push the pawn. We just push the pawn and say, the point is, even if white takes twice on b4 and wins the pawn, we're going to pass on the king's side. Yeah, but this I do not like for we just pass a pawn on the king's side. Let's get the king in the centre, nice and safe. Yeah, this is not a mad rush. But what we're going to do is the classic combination of passing a pawn on the king's side and then running back, taking the d4 pawn and winning with a zugzwang. This is 100% mathematically won. In fact, another way you can do it is when the king goes to the king's side, you can take on d4. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make it a race. I think it's better just to the best way is to just pass a pawn on the king's side, put the king behind the pawns, push the king right back, and then come back and take the d pawn. And at that point, our king will be in front of the pawn, so we're just bound to win because. Okay, so that wasn't a terrible idea, but we may actually be able now to invade and take the d4 pawn. I think our opponents realise this is over. It's a good game, right? It's a really good game. I mean, yeah, I think the engine will say, well, it's just one from here. It's fine. Our opponent's good enough to know that. Fury 76. Okay. Yeah, it was a grind. Okay, so this wasn't a book move, but it was okay. Yeah, this was terrible, look. I just blew it here. I was in all sorts of trouble. Wow. This was not even a great move. This was bad. Not because of this, because of something else. What are we meant to do here? Take it. I've no idea why. Do you know why? If we take it... Oh, I see. Knight takes? Okay, if we take it, why doesn't the... Okay, just queen takes and then knight takes? Knight takes. What, and they're saying we're better there, are we? Okay, well, you're a long way to see that. Anyway, I did this. Yeah, okay. We started to get better here, and then we started to feel it was better here as well. Didn't we? Okay, that was a bit... Okay, so this is bad. Knight h3 check. Knight h3 check. Pawn takes. Queen h4, queen g2, rook g6. Okay, knight h3 check, pawn takes, queen h4 threatening mate, queen g2, rook g6, pins the queen. It's quite hard to see that. This was good, this was good. Look, we're all over them. This was good. This was good. This was not good. This was terrible. We meant to take an f3. Okay. We meant to take an f3. And there's got to be pawn takes. Okay. Then there's probably a check. Okay. So actually we missed a nicer tactic. But you know what? We played it solidly. Sometimes it's not always about playing the computer move. In fact, often it's not about playing the computer move. It's about playing the best human move. Because this, I always felt this endgame was better. And I was right. It was. Okay. So the basic winning method here is you pass a pawn on the f file, you push it up, and then when the king's there, then you then take on the d file, and then your king's in front of the pawn, and you always win that endgame. Hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. See you soon.